The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Hello, here I am. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. I'm in Los Angeles still. I am joined by three of my favorite people of all time. Brian Frangie is here. Hey, Brian.
Hello. And we should clap for everybody just like they do on the Pat McAfee show.
Oh, yeah. I just did the Pat McAfee show.
Which is what Nikki was just on. That's why I'm wearing all this Colts gear.
That's so cool.
In honor of you being on the Pat McAfee show.
It was so
today.
fun. We'll talk about it because it came out of nowhere, and it only came out because I reached out to you guys. And then Chris Convey is here. Welcome back. Yeah, Chris Convey, everyone. It really does. That's a good fun
It helps.
vibe.
It helps. And then Chris gets applause. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it does feel good.
Thanks,
and then Andrew Collin, everyone. Back to the show. Andrew Collin, welcome back.
Good to be back. Thanks for having me.
So I reached out to you guys because I was like, I forget who said it to me, but I was at a podcast yesterday. We're here to help. Maybe it was them. I forget who. I apologize to whoever told me like you need to like go hard in the sports world. Do all the sports shows. I think it was Jack Johnson. Not Jack Johnson. What's his name over there?
Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson. So sorry, Jake. I love you so much. I've never loved anyone more than Jake Johnson.
You did come home saying he was
I've been
amazing.
talking about him all. Like I can't get over how great he is.
Yeah.
But he was like, you need to spin this into something bigger. Like you got to capitalize on this. Get the word out on all the sports shows. So I texted all of you being like, what are the shows I should do? And
Yeah.
Pat McAfee show was the number one. You guys all of you said was the number one.
I knew those guys would love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
it was
great.
It was so much fun. Yeah. And I just did it, and they had me on. You always know it's a good segment when they have you planned for they go, it'll be a 15-minute segment. And then you're looking, and it's like, it's been 35
you were
minutes.
for over 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome.
I was sitting outside this building just like, just watching it on YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
And then I
fun.
buzzed in.
And then you buzzed in.
Yeah,
and
that's the end of the story.
That's the end of the. I have nothing more to say. Then you got in the building. Did you
I
climb
got
the
in.
stairs?
I walked up the stairs. Yep,
Did
two
you-
flights.
Okay, nice.
You killed it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great.
you killed it on that, but not
Yeah.
on this
Well,
podcast.
you guys all helped me. I mean, I was. Brian texted me a slew of things that I should talk about because you were a fan of the show and knew it
I mean,
very
I love
well,
Pat
and you
McAfee.
love Pat McAfee.
I love the Colts. I love Pat McAfee. I'm so proud that Pat McAfee is like the number one sports analyst
he's
in
the
the
guy.
world.
He's
and he was a
great.
Colt.
Oh, he's so. I mean, I just had that conversation with him, and he was so fun and easy to talk to.
You were amazing on it. It was perfect. You set the perfect tone. You told a bunch of jokes. They were laughing, and it's perfect for that show. Like they have a bunch of, hockey analysts and then general manager. You followed a general manager who also is a fan of yours, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Todd Bowles.
and the general manager of the same team.
Oh,
the
really? Of the
Bucks.
Bucks? Wow, I gotta
Yeah.
go down
Big
there.
in Florida.
You gotta go to
maybe
Tampa.
that's my team too.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
pick a team. So and then Andrew this morning was texting me a ton of jokes. We were like maybe gonna roast Pat a little bit.
Yeah.
You had some funny ones. I don't even want to say them because I feel like I love Pat so
Yeah,
much right
I
now,
don't
and he
want-
did not ask for it. So we'll leave those out of there. But we had some really good jokes.
He did not seem like he wanted to be roasted.
No, and you know what? Like some people, I'm the same way. Don't fucking ever. Anya still talks about a day on tour, like years ago, where she was roasting you, I guess, Andrew, and she goes, and Andrew's like, "I'll come back at you," and she was like, "Come back at me. Let's see what you got." And Andrew said something that like she can't. I'm not even gonna say what it was because she can't stop seeing it, and it's like literally affected her self-esteem for the rest of her life. Yes.
Well, I
Yes.
wrote it months before. I have a lot of
Every
shit
time Andrew
about-
sees somebody, he's like, well, if I have to roast somebody.
It was.
It's because I was like the small little Jewish kid on the bus that was always picked on, so I had to. And it was so
really?
easy to just be like Jew,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I
yeah.
I didn't have anything. Like I had to like be
Yeah.
creative.
Right. Everyone
Yeah.
can make fun of you for being Jewish, but then for all the Protestants and stuff, you have to come up with something about their personality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do Brian.
I
Yeah.
can't.
Well,
No, my favorite joke about being
I'll text you though,
bullied
Chris.
as a Jewish person was Amy Schumer saying that they used to throw pennies at her and call her, Jew and throw pennies, and then she'd go like, "What?" And she'd pick it up and be like, "Ah," like Scrooge McDuck, like, "Ah, yes!" Like that is such a funny bit. But it's horrible to be roasted. I don't think anyone. I don't want it outside of that kind of arena. Literally, I would never want it. I don't want to know anything about myself that anyone thinks is negative. It's when anyone starts a sentence like, can I be honest with you?
Oh,
Or like,
yeah.
hey, I've been thinking, can you sit down? Like, can we talk? I don't want, because it's that to me is like, there's some criticism coming your way, and I literally can't handle it.
Yeah.
But
I don't mind looks, like make fun
Really?
of my looks,
Really?
but like
because
make-
why? Because you can change it.
no, like I'm the most self-deprecating. I mean, I think it's hilarious to make fun of looks. I think when it starts to get like there's
Who you are,
who
your
you are, and
achievements, or,
like yeah, achievements or
Fucking
work
your mom
ethic,
didn't love
or
you.
my mom didn't love me.
Yeah.
You'll never be as good as your brother.
Yes,
Can
that
we at
stuff.
least add a joke to these? Can we add a punchline?
No, you're right. I think looks for me are so much worse. Obviously, it's just like what you kind of get your worth from.
Yeah.
I guess, but I can get hit in other ways as well. But it's yeah, it's not fun, and I'm glad I'm out of the woods on that. Where it's like the jokes that were made, I'm just like kind of over already.
Yeah.
you know, you move on.
Yeah, like the one about you being old.
Like it's fine.
It's a good joke, though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
a
it
good
was
joke.
so funny.
A well-structured joke.
Yeah, it was really. I saw it in the prompter too. Like right before he said, he's talking about Bill Belichick dating a young girl, and he's like, "Coach, you need to date someone more your age." Like Nikki. Like the way he delivered it was great too. And I saw like Nikki coming up, and I go, here it comes.
Yeah.
And you even saw his rehearsal set.
Yeah.
And you were what a team player you are, because you had some insider information. You did not deflate the balls for me, because you knew that Gronk was going to call me old, but you just said, hey, I saw Gronk's set. He does have a joke about you that tends to address the fact that your age is a number. Like you said, you weren't even saying like old. You were like, your age is a number
Is
that
it
is
this
higher
low?
than
Yeah.
other numbers. And I was like, and I
like a
only read it
riddle.
after, like, but it was, I liked that you like kind of had his back and were kind of supportive of the roast environment where I'm not supposed to know anything.
You got to be fair.
And you do have to.
gotta be
I
fair.
love playing fair. I hate cheating. I will. That's why it kind of surprised me reading about Tom and even having Tom admit that he cheated, kind of, or saying no, it wasn't an admission.
He had plausible deniability.
Yeah,
in there.
totally, 'cause he's
that
like,
was so funny.
he could just say because his joke was like, the investigation that you guys put on to find out if I deflated these balls or knew about it was, you spent $20 million. Pay me $20 million. I'll tell you I did it.
Yeah.
So he could
That
just
was
say, I was
amazing.
saying, I would just lie and say I did it for $20 million.
Mm-hmm.
That is his deniability. But it's also could be taken as he admitted it, which was I loved that joke because
Yeah.
it towed that line of
That's
what
what I
which
was
one.
thinking when
It
he was
perfect.
saying it. Is he admitting? Is this an admission?
I think we all know it was, because
Yeah.
he definitely did
Also,
know. He
It's just
destroyed his
it was
phone.
O.J. Simpson's "If I Did." It.
Yes.
That's what it was.
It
was
totally
like that was Tom
was.
Brady's version.
Also, like deflating footballs. Really, is that like such a huge deal?
Well, I guess in the scheme of things, it's not. But
Yeah.
if everyone is cheating, I probably would cheat if I'm just to be
Yeah.
fair with everyone else.
But we all know what they say.
Wait, hold on, I know it. 1 second. If you ain't cheating, you're not trying.
Basically, yeah.
Is that it?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You've heard that, right?
Bob Dylan had some line like that. No, he really did. Bob Dylan had a line like
fuck the Jets. I think he's.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what he
no, he
said.
said "fuck the Jews."
Yeah, I think he said Tom Brady killed Aaron Hernandez. I think that's what Bob Dylan said. I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So he was ahead of his
Kill
time.
himself.
Yeah, that was a Bob Dylan lyric. It's off
Yeah.
his new B-side.
Well, I just found out I'm doing John Mulaney's
Who's that?
live show,
Oh,
which
you
I was
are?
a fan. Like, I started out the week being like a fan of it, being like, man, I wish I could do that show. And it's so funny, like, it never in a million years would I be on the Pat McAfee show
Yeah.
to promote my special Someday You'll Die that's coming out on
Unbelievable.
last Saturday, because you're hearing this the week after, but this is the week, but we're taping it the week before. And then also John Mulaney's show. I was not in. John knows of me. We're friendly, and he's not. There's no reason I would not ever be on that show if it was in a long run. But they're only doing 6 episodes, and I'm gonna be. And they just wrote me this morning, being like, John wants to have you on.
Well, we're not
Great.
going to harp
Which is
on
so
this
exciting.
because I'm sure you don't want to go too far into this. But Nikki is continued to be the toast of the town through this whole week. Like I'm sure you
Tea of
guys,
the tea.
because everybody knows you guys are very close to Nikki as well. I'm sure people are texting you about how great Nikki was.
Not again, one single text.
I texted Brian. She's overrated.
I'm still getting things like pouring in, being like, I just saw the roast. Nikki was the best.
It's to the
Yeah.
point where if you didn't text me and you're like a friend of, like, it's weird.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
it's like nothing like that. There's no you can skip my birthdays. People can forget my birthdays. They can forget me getting, if I have a baby, if I get married, if I have a special come out. Like, I don't
Wait,
care
you're
if
not
you miss
having
it.
a baby, right?
No, not a like.
Baron Trump over here?
I wouldn't do it now because The only reason I do it, yeah, right. That was a good joke.
It was
Yeah,
good.
That was a
one, man.
great
Yeah,
joke.
that
That
was
I have
good.
I have the face of Tiffany Trump and the reproductive system of Barron or something. It was something like that. And the tits of Trump is the tag we wrote for it, or Andrew did. But the only appeal to having a baby, what part of the appeal would be like this new identity you get to have. Like, I'm a mom, like, look, like, and I do think some moms do that. Like, it's an identity of like, I need a thing going on. And maybe there's a world in which that would have been interesting to me at some point down the line. No interest now. I've summited Everest. I am not going to climb Kilimanjaro. You know what I mean? Like, why would you? I would never. It's not even a consideration.
Your
for
new
me.
identity now is being on every single show and podcast in America.
Yeah, that's
You were
it.
just on Fly on the Wall.
Well, I've never been so beloved. Like, let me just say this: I've never had a moment where everyone's just like happy for me. They like me. The LA Times,
Oh my God.
the headline was "Well done, Nikki."
I mean, this is like a.
I've never had any kind of like.
Are you dying?
If you
might
told
be
me this
dying.
in
That's
a
what I
dream, I
feel.
wouldn't
Yeah.
believe you.
Like, am I like
A Make-A-Wish kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, the besties were in on this early. All you besties.
totally?
Yeah.
You were
I've
like
always
Nikki
felt
for
that
Taylor-
love
you were
from
like
them.
Nikki for Taylor Swift.
But I do feel like it's like that article today in the LA Times. I'm like, I do feel like I won the Super Bowl. I'm going to like the parade. Like, it kind of feels like that kind of vibe in the air. And it's gonna get annoying of me talking about it at some point. But I can't. I wish everyone could experience the love that I'm feeling from people.
You're being called the MVP.
Yeah, the MVP.
Which is kind of amazing because like that's a big deal in sports. That's
It's a
the
big
biggest
deal. It's the biggest deal. And I didn't know it was the biggest deal until I was talking to you about, hey, I'm going to rank Tom Brady's achievements. Here are all of them. And you go, well, MVP's first. And I go, really? Being the MVP of the Super Bowls would be the first? And you're like, yeah, it's up there. I'm like, I would just think that's like, that's fine. That's good, but I
think
wouldn't
winning
think
the
that's
Super Bowl, he's
Well,
a big
yes.
team guy. I think he probably down. If you asked him, maybe if you went into his heart and really found the truth, MVP would be number one.
Yeah.
But winning the
Of
Super Bowl,
course it is.
Well,
He's not a
MVP of
team
the
guy.
Super Bowl already implies
He-
that you've won the Super Bowl.
He is a
Sure.
team guy, but like all team people, I think at their core are like they want, like Tom Brady wants to be Tom Brady. Like,
Of course.
but he is a generous person.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at your core, you want to be the center of it.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Speaking
I
as a
don't
Tom
know.
Brady, speaking
Yeah.
as an MVP,
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
let you guys know that.
We wouldn't know anything about it.
This much praise, it could get to the point where it starts to feel sarcastic. Like, can you just read "Well done, Nikki Glaser" in like italics? And
Yeah.
Well
That's
done,
always
Nikki.
been kind of the response. Like, I've never been so. People have been like, "You're great and you work hard and like all these things," and I've agreed with it. I've never thought I've deserved anything more than that. I've never been like, "When is my day gonna come?" Ever. I really haven't. But it has arrived where I am like the belle of the ball, and cool people, the cool comedy people like me.
Hell yeah.
And
It's
are
weird
like,
they just
welcome
come
to
out of
our
nowhere.
club.
Yeah, you're
Come-
welcome.
Like, come hang with us. We
Yeah.
do arenas, and you are going to do those soon
Yeah.
too. Like,
Schultz gave you a shout out on Flagrant.
it's
this
nice.
morning.
It's nice to be Tim Dillon welcomed me to the top tier.
He
He
did.
didn't welcome me, but it felt like he's up there and he's like he gave me a hand and like pulled me up. And he just said, "You're on the top tier now." It's a
Hell
long
yeah.
time. Like, it was just a little, but he acknowledged it, and it's like it does feel like I just got that like 7-timers jacket
Yeah.
at SNL or something.
Maybe
like
you'll get the invite to the farm now.
I want to get in these pedophile rings that I've been hearing about.
Yeah, the
When
Illuminati.
is that invite coming?
Yeah. A little bit higher, I think.
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
true.
be a billionaire to really be
Yeah.
on
Well,
the end.
my friend's husband is a billionaire, and he just got back from Necker Island.
Oh yeah.
And I
Well,
go,
say that.
tell us what happened. Yeah. Isn't that the place where I've heard of this island? It's where he was there with Richard Branson and like other.
I think that's
billionaires.
his island, Richard Branson's
Yes,
island.
yes,
yeah, he
yes,
owns
that's right.
the island.
Yeah. It's not good to own an island.
Yeah, you shouldn't own
After
an island.
Epstein, don't we
Yeah.
all think that
Johnny
owning an
Depp.
island?
Johnny Depp had an island.
No more
Really?
islands,
Yeah.
guys.
See, that's shady
Bezos.
as well.
Yeah, you feel like you're.
Hamish and Andy had an island.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did.
Wow. Well, there's nothing weird
No,
there. Those
only
two
fun.
are nothing but pure
Only fun on that one.
people.
Mr. Beast has an island.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I bet they're like buying. Remember when everyone was buying stars?
Yeah.
I bet they're like that. Like, there's just little dots everywhere that you
Yeah.
can kind of.
But there's a limited number.
And with the polar ice caps melting, the rising, less islands.
Less islands, yeah. The ocean rises.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supply.
Also,
and
with
demand,
the income inequality, just more people can afford to buy an island, and less people can afford to live on that island that they're going to buy.
Yeah. Who's going to run the island? Who's going to change your sheets? Who's going to iron your sheets? That's what rich people do. They have people iron their sheets. That's something that I only had one time when I was on a yacht, and it felt totally stupid to me to do. But I saw these women ironing sheets.
Thank you.
On a yacht. Like, it's just, but I can't wait to be a part of that now. And that's what my life is.
Yeah, that's your future.
So we'll come back to the show, but I am going to be different. So we're going to go on a break, but I'm even going to change in the next 5 minutes after these commercials. So stay with us. We'll be back after this. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Don't you dare do
Whoa,
that.
what do you got?
I was gonna get in there with
it. Last night, what did we do? We went to dinner with Rachel. Rachel Feinstein and I went to dinner at Nobu, and we show up and we're both wearing the same blazer that we both got from a Cynthia Rowley show that we did. She had like comedians on this New York Fashion Week show a couple years ago, and they like let us go to their showroom and pick out stuff. And Rachel and I both picked out like this oversized pinstripe blazer, and last night we showed up at dinner, and this was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago that we did this, and we both were wearing the same blazer, and it felt, I've never felt more, we were so happy to be wearing the same thing. That's a really magical moment in a girl's life. To be when
two like best friends
who don't see each other. We only see each other 5 times a year.
I was so happy that you guys went to dinner, but I was really jealous because I've always said if I could, when the people are like, if you go to dinner with 5 people, who would the 5 people be? And I would be like, I want 5 Rachel Feinsteins.
Yeah. Well, it was so fun. And then Andrew joined us about 45 minutes in, dropped in, and she's so fucking funny.
Yeah, she's the best.
She really is. And she's nice, and she can, like, I was like, Rachel, I really want to talk to you about like I want to go deep with you. Like, I want to talk about everything. I go, are you cool with Andrew coming? Like, can you talk like that? And she's like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I like when people are like, if I vouch for someone, which she already knows you, but if I vouch for someone, like they're a vault, you can be honest with them. They'll be just as honest about their life, that they trust me and go, yeah, he can hear about my marriage or my kids or my insecurities, about like whatever it is.
And she has a special coming out on Netflix.
Yeah, May 21st called Big Guy.
Big Guy.
She's one of my favorite comedians of all time. Watch our specials, support female comedy. It's not even female comedy. It's like the best comedy. She's so fucking funny. But Big Guy on Netflix. I can't wait for even the trailer to come out. I'm so excited. But yeah, we had
Netflix has amazing trailers too. I feel like sometimes the trailers are better than the show.
Really?
Often, yeah.
Because I asked her, I go, let me see your trailer. And she goes, I don't think they do trailers. And I was like,
well, they do it on YouTube, yeah.
Oh, okay.
About
she was
a week
like, I think
before.
they just do clips. And I go, you have a trailer, babe.
Well, I don't know how the stand-up specials go, but for regular shows, they'll do a trailer about a month before, a week before.
Yeah.
And they're almost half the time they're better than the show. Like the trailers are so good. Like if I could just watch. I used to go to the gym and like on the screen there was a trailer channel sometimes. You could just watch movie trailers while running, and if I could just watch Netflix trailers, I could do a full workout.
Wow,
easily.
They're different than like movie trailers? You feel like that you would see at the
They're similar,
cinema.
but it just pumps you up for the show, and the show could never live up to the 2 minutes of it.
Because it's like highlights. It's like all the best
and
jokes.
set to a song,
Yeah.
and like all the cuts are hitting like when the beat kicks it, like it's
Boom.
Your
It's
trailer's good
amazing.
because there's some like non sequiturs where you're like, you're just doing kind of funny things, and it kind of draws you in. You're like, what is she doing here?
Yes.
What's this giraffe
I gotten
dance?
a lot of compliments on the trailer.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh,
from
yeah?
people
Oh,
who
yeah.
like know what they're talking about.
Great
I was like,
news.
oh, that's so nice. But yeah, I mean, I've one time I've talked about it a million times, but my favorite movie is the Social Network trailer.
Yeah.
It's the greatest.
Was that
I
like a
saw
Nirvana?
her
Oh, yeah.
Oh no! It's not that. It's I'm a creep.
Oh,
I'm
right.
Oh,
a
yeah,
weird-"
yeah.
And then
It's
it's
like a boys' choir.
yes,
Yeah.
and it's
Scorsese directed that trailer.
Oh, it's so good. And
David Fincher was like, hey, who can direct the trailer to my movie?
it's oh my god, it's like a music, and it's weird that music videos aren't really getting like because
Yeah.
they're short form. Like why are they dead? It
Because
can't be
there's
just
nowhere to put
MTV.
them. It's just on Vimeo.
What do you
or
mean?
whatever.
YouTube. There's
Yeah.
tons of places
I guess
to put
you're right.
music videos.
There's nowhere to put video content anymore.
Yeah.
There's nowhere not to put video
Yeah.
content. It can be
put video
anywhere
on this
now.
I
cable.
feel like TikTok is just trailers for songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, because you're getting
I'm
like
not
15
on TikTok.
seconds.
Tell me like what's going on there and like what do you spend your like what's your algorithm
This is the
showing?
TikTok
you?
beat
Golf.
with Andrew Collin.
Golf.
I have golf. I have random people getting knocked out.
You on Crime Faces?
I mean, I don't know.
Is
if
there
I
a
type
whole
it in,
genre
but
of girls with amazing asses going up to drive like
going
golf?
up to drive? Yeah, there are a lot of
yeah.
golf
I've seen
girls
that.
that are showing their
that's-
boobs.
Yeah, they're always like these fit girls that like you just look
it's
at their
a still camera from behind while
Yeah.
they're swinging, and it's really look at my swing, but it's really look at my ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
It couldn't be more clear to look at their like it's just so I'm almost
Their
like
swing isn't that good.
Well, they don't even have a club in their hand.
what and so what else like what are you
There's some musicians that you wouldn't know that I know are gonna blow up.
Whoa.
Right.
What are you, Jake Gyllenhaal?
Maybe
oh yeah
Benson Boone.
you think
this
your
guy
indie
Benson
music's
Boone.
so much
Do you know
cooler than
Benson?
mine.
Benson Boone.
Benson Boone.
When
You
a
will.
song goes viral and it becomes trending on TikTok, then that song becomes the number 1 song on Spotify.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
But people only will know, like these artists are saying that they'll go and they'll play the show and everyone shows up and they just sing the 1 15-second part of the song that's from the TikTok and they
Yeah,
don't know
that can
anything else
happen.
of the song.
Yeah, they just repeat it
Yeah.
7 times. Didn't you
Sometimes
say-
a good thing is sometimes it digs into the past and resurrects a song that we
Yeah.
all loved. Like it happened to Billy Joel with a couple of his songs. And there was that song that just got played, that was actually played at the Tom Brady roast after party. It would never have been played if it did not trend on TikTok. I forgot the guy's name, but it's you want to know where I've been? I've been trying to. I can't sing. So.
Yeah. Okay.
You know the
so
song?
yeah, that no, I
Trying to
don't.
think. Yeah, I know. I'm.
It's a white guy that everyone used to think was black because his voice sounded so much like a soul singer.
Oh.
The fuck's his- I'll look it up while you
Yeah,
guys talk.
yeah. Well,
Inform. You know.
Just-
How do
how do you guys know the lyrics to that? It's so good. I have a song that is out now on Spotify and
Oh, yeah.
iTunes or
Oh,
wherever you
wait a
get your
second.
songs. It's coming out tonight. I think,
Oh, well,
as we're shooting this, but like it's out now when people are listening to this. It's called Someday You'll Die.
man.
It's on Spotify. Besties know about it. They've heard about it since the inception of it. They've been awaiting it. There's no bestie listening right now to the podcast who hasn't heard the song already. Even, I play it during my lives. So they're well aware. So tell your friends, put it on your playlist, share it with people. Tim Convey, your brother, who wrote the song with me and helped produce, or it did produce, he sent me a lyric video that was made, but it's using all it's really cool that they did it, but it's using all like stock footage for every line. So it's like, I get a text from my best friend, and it's like a girl in bed getting a text, and then it's like, but I can't get out of bed, and she like can't get out of bed, and it's like it's all stock.
It's like see and say.
Yes, and it feels like I was like, can we just say this was made by ChatGPT? Like, I don't want to say that I paid anyone to do this because
Right.
it's not good. It's not like there's nothing artistic
Watch it
about
blow
it.
up.
But I appreciate that it was made. But then there's also like, he goes, what ideas do you have for a lyric video? Can we still just use the lyrics and maybe just put up a picture? But the fonts are even like live, laugh, love a little bit. Like they try to do funny things with the fonts. And I'm like, it was a nice effort and I appreciate it. But I don't know the answer to what a lyric video should be. But my idea I think I'm going to shoot today is just me writing it.
Oh wow, okay.
And then we just, because I like
then you
watching people
speed it
write
up
with like a
and-
cool marker. Like this
Sure.
is satisfying.
What about you, like walking through a field, singing lips?
I would do that.
I mean, I don't
That's a
know.
field
Maybe.
idea.
Yeah.
I would do a still shot of me walking down Sunset singing the whole entire
Yeah.
thing without stopping. That's a
Okay.
good idea.
Yeah.
Just
Or
some kind of
something
video.
like that. I mean, that's how those.
Why don't you
that's how
go
it blows
to
up.
Hollywood Forever Cemetery and walk through that?
Because someday you'll die.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh,
Then
there
he's
we
just
go.
done something.
Okay.
Forest Lawn. I went to Forest Lawn Cemetery.
Yeah,
When?
It was
that's
like
a
the
good
most
one.
depressing thing I've ever.
Why?
Listen to this. This is so bad. So I can't. I shouldn't even tell this. I'm
too
not
bad.
telling this. It's too bad. It's
I
so
have
bad.
to-
It's the
What if you
saddest
go
thing-
down to, like,
saddest
Skid
thing I
Row?
ever saw. Okay, I tell you, it was right before Easter, and I kind of like cemetery, so I was walking through, and anyway, I'm walking through, and I'm just like looking at different like gravestones, and they were decorated for Easter. So anything that was decorated for Easter, I was like, oh, these people, there's something current about this, and I would be kind of curious. So I'd go along, and I saw a gravestone of a kid that has been dead for 40 years, and it was decorated with so somebody's been coming for 40 years and decorating the gravestone, and the kid was only alive for 6 days.
Whoa.
So that person was going there at least every Easter and putting like children
so sweet.
decorations. It was like, it was like touching,
Yeah.
but like
oh
absolutely
my
heartbreaking.
God. Oh,
Easter's also the day
no.
that Jesus came back to life, right?
Yeah, but you.
So maybe it'll work.
Yeah.
You had to like do a double take reading that. It just said like May 11th through May 17th.
Yeah, it was like
Yes.
August like 1982 to like August 6th, 1982.
Yeah.
To like August 11th, 1982. And you're
Fuck.
like, oh my God.
Well, I've been doing this joke on stage
You did
about
more in 6 days than you did in 6 minutes. You know, it was close. It's close. I don't
People
know.
are celebrating him for longer.
Yeah, I wonder
than
what
my
he
moment.
did. Yeah.
Well done, kid.
Well done, kid.
Yeah.
Flowers.
But no, I do this joke about how people think their kids gonna like no one really needs your kids. Stop having
Right.
them, and we get it. You think your kid's gonna cure cancer, but it's more likely your kid will get cancer. And I go. And that always doesn't do well because people picture kids with cancer, and that's sad. But it is actually more likely that your kid, as a kid, will get cancer. It's just statistics than cure cancer. It's 100%. It's infinitely more likely. That's just true, but it is offensive and it makes people sad. So now I go, it's more likely that your kid's not going to cure cancer. It's probably going to get cancer at some point in its lifetime when it is an old person. And then I go, because that's more palatable than saying they're getting cancer as a kid, isn't it? And then that now gets a laugh because I'm calling out, like, for some reason, both are true and both are sad, but like it's just so much like I find
that
it
in
very
the special?
No, that joke isn't in the special,
make
but
it.
the version I'm telling now will probably be in the next special because
Oh,
now it's
alright.
working because I'm addressing the thing that was uncomfortable about it, and now I'm making a joke out of that.
It's crazy because your special, you had like an hour and 45 minutes of material going in, and so much of it got cut.
Yeah, it was too much things.
TMM.
Yeah.
Too much
Too much
material.
things. But the next special, I'm approaching it roast style, 6 minutes at a time.
Oh, wow.
Spend a
trailers.
month on it.
All trailers.
All
I love that. 45 trailers.
All
Francie's
jokes about
gonna love it.
Dude,
Alex
honestly-
Edelman being gay, or Steve Edelman. And wait, what's his
Julian.
Julian? Sorry,
Alex Edelman.
Steve Edelman.
I don't
Oh,
know.
that's a guy I went to high school with. Man, I have got a lot of Edelmans in my life, and they're all gay.
Very common name.
I think actually Alex Edelman is bisexual, so
Yeah,
half
he
true.
came out for his special.
Oh, yeah,
just
for
for a
that.
special, and now he's back in.
He's back.
He's back being
Yeah,
gay.
Netflix wouldn't give him one unless he was interesting.
Do you think if you get kid cancer though and you die, you're more like people will show up for 40 years?
Yeah.
Would you rather have that or die of cancer at an
Well,
old
I'm-
age and people show up for 40?
I don't care.
I haven't
if
even
people
been to
show
my.
up because I'm dead.
That's a good point.
So I'd like to live longer.
Yeah. Living longer is better.
Yeah.
That'd be
yeah.
really sad if you just had to wait by your grave after you died all the time, waiting for people to come by. Like you're just sitting there being like, I hope someone stops by.
I've never been to my grandparents' grave. I don't think.
You should go. It actually feels nice to do it.
I love going to
I don't know where it
graves.
is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, my one grandpa got buried in a cemetery, and apparently they just put more bodies.
They stack them.
They stacked them up, and we didn't like
Stacking bodies.
Yeah,
There's
it's
no way
insane.
we're not running out of
like
space.
spooning somebody forever.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, not really. I mean, their body biodegrades after 8 years.
Well, they're bones.
and that
Yeah, the bones
they-
are still
the bones
spooning.
last longer. Yeah, the bones last a lot longer.
Like, yeah, sometimes there's mummified things. Like you see bones of like
The bones.
like
the
people who are
bones.
sacrificed and they put them in like a crate. Like they're two people
Mm.
cradling each other. I want to be buried like in a fetal like that would be cool to like my bones are like so they think something I was like bludgeoned to death by someone even though
Like
Well, story.
Chernobyl.
so in my casket I'm like ugh crumpled so that when aliens discover me they go what happened to this bitch.
Yeah,
I like
Yeah.
that.
Damn.
Yeah.
I want to be like blowing myself.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
Going down
finally
on
you
myself.
can.
Yeah. Finally, I could actually.
Because all of your muscle isn't stopping you. Like, what's stopping you?
From
Probably-
blowing myself?
I guess your spine, or is it your fascia?
My penis isn't big enough.
Yeah, that your-
I mean, when it really comes down to it, my dick's not long enough. No matter how, yeah. I just can't.
I
I've
met
tried.
someone who was able to touch their mouth to it. There was some person I remember that was like, yeah.
Well, there was like a rumor going around. I forgot who it was, where someone got a rib removed. Who was
Marilyn
this?
I
Manson.
imagine-
Marilyn
we had a
Manson.
joke about it the other
okay.
day because I was going to talk about how Kim Kardashian like took quite a beating that night, but then the next night she was at the Met Gala and she was wearing a corset that was so painful looking. I mean, literally her waist was the size of her neck. It was no difference.
Damn.
That small. And we were talking about like she had a rib removed, like Marilyn Manson. She either wanted to fit in the dress or she wanted to suck Marilyn Manson's dick. Like removing your rib would make it so you can suck.
It kind of
Marilyn-
makes sense because then they could like bond over it. You know?
But she would never because he's so white. Was our next joke? Like he's the whitest white person.
But he
there
wears black
is.
makeup.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't go full.
But there are cemeteries all across this world that are just like forgotten. Like you think there's some permanence in being buried in a cemetery, and there's like cemeteries from the Civil War that are just covered up by a mall or just unmarked graves everywhere. Like you really can't step on a place on earth where someone hasn't been laid to rest.
Right. I mean, it makes sense. There's so many more dead people than there are alive people.
Yeah.
Well, how do you like? Okay, when it's all over for Brian, what do you want to happen to?
That's a great question.
Your remains.
Frozen and then resurrected once the technology.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about Brian's
Yeah.
death.
Oh.
It's not gonna
I forgot
happen.
about that.
It's not a thing that happens.
Now, my dad, though, we've talked about this. He's interested in a haunted forest. These are trees that have a little sack underneath of them where you can put the body in the sack so that it helps a tree grow. And then the tree is the thing you go see and not the gravestone.
Yeah, that's great.
And in a bunch of trees like this, they call it a haunted forest.
Oh God, that's so
that.
gross to think of like a crumpled body like in a sack
But then
in
you
a
become
tree.
your energy or whatever. Your
Yeah, I don't
remains
mind being
become a
thrown
tree.
into the ground, just no casket. Like the worms get you quicker,
Yeah.
and you become part of the earth. I like that better than being like it's gonna take billions of millennia to go through the wood and the shellac on the wood, and then the like.
It
you
won't
know,
take billions of millennia. You'll biodegrade inside that coffin.
I don't care what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. If you are someone who wants to fuck dead people, I'll give my body to necrophiliacs. I don't
Yeah.
care if you fuck me. I'm
There's
dead. I
that,
literally
Oh
don't
my
care.
God. Hey, what would be the difference?
It doesn't. Yeah. I was gonna say the smell, but I don't even know about that.
She is like this when it happens.
Oh my God.
She's in the fetal position.
I think I might be wetter. Embalming fluid might be.
It'll be your
gooier.
biggest special ever.
Oh my God, that's so funny. A++. Clip it. Clip it.
Oh no, let's not.
Yes,
we don't need more of that.
that's clipped. You're
man.
getting clipped, brother.
That clip, dude.
That's
Get that
terrible.
foreskin off, baby.
But
You have foreskin?
what do you want? What do you want to happen to your bod?
Strapped to a chair, donated to the military, and target
Oh,
practice.
shot at?
Yeah.
What?
Wait,
just
what?
kidding.
Oh, I was
my
like,
God.
Science.
Jesus.
Just give it to science.
Science.
Just do
Oh.
whatever science wants to do. If it can like help a kid learn how to do surgery, or it doesn't. I don't care.
Well,
at
you
all.
can't choose that. When you donate it to science, you don't know where it's going to go.
But
You
that's
might
why-
wind up getting
Yeah.
strapped to a thing and shot with a missile.
But like I said, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like whatever is useful.
They
to-
might
to the
study
wor-
necrophiliacs.
I would like to be useful.
They might do a study with people
What
who
if-
want to fuck corpses, and that might be science.
Couldn't care less.
Yeah,
Good for
I don't
them.
care either.
Good for all of
I'm
them.
They'll practice
dead.
missiles
Whoa.
on you that'll be used
What
in
about you?
drone attacks.
But you know what I do? Even though I feel that way, like in movies where people have to like recover the body from like a warfield, I always find that very moving.
Sure.
Yeah, and you know what? Second thought on this, I do like the idea of an ashes spreading thing. Like, I think that's very beautiful, and I think that I would want that gift for my family and friends to like have a closure moment like that. And there's just something about being lowered into the ground that is so sad and
Scary.
like being kept. I would like a place for them to go to like remember me and visit, because I think that is important, like a gravestone, and maybe put a little bit of the ashes in that, but then the rest of the ashes, I don't know where you'd scatter it. Over the fucking Kia Forum, I'll tell you that.
They already were.
Where would you want ashes right now? Because you let's say you could do it like a few places.
What about Taylor Swift?
Taylor
show?
Swift's Rhode Island beach house. No, I would say probably. God, that's such a good question. Right now, maybe like my childhood home, like
Cincinnati
the
or St.
front
Louis?
Cincinnati, like the little like in like the little wooded area on the side. I think it's not even there, but like in the front yard where I used to run around as a little girl. Like I think that's I'm almost getting choked up thinking about it. Like that's like that seems nice, even
Yeah.
though I haven't been back there since I was 6. Yeah. What about
Yeah,
you?
that seems. I don't know.
Where are we scattering them?
The
Come
current
on, you
owners
gotta let
of
me
that
know.
house will be thrilled.
What about you, Andrew?
What are you
Where was
doing
yours?
out there?
You could put my ashes, I think, inside a dildo and give it to Brenna.
Yeah, that's.
Give her.
Is that the plan?
Yeah, finally I can have
Yeah.
an erect penis for her. Something like special to me. I tear up almost thinking about it. It's crazy. Wouldn't it be funny if you got
Her
everything
pussy's
cremated?
like your childhood home.
yeah. I remember I used to run around in there. Cut that. No, clip it. I mean, I don't know.
Clip it, cut it,
Cut it out.
burn it, spread Spread
it
news.
around. I'm dead. Autism. I think I have it. I don't know. I get scared about cremation. I don't. For some reason,
Because
I
you
still
think
think
you'll
I
be
can
alive.
feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
all
crazy.
scary. You should be scared about getting lowered into the ground too. Then it's really cold.
Oh, I had to do that for
Dark.
my grandpa.
Oh,
Actually, that was
The one whose
I did
grave
go
you
to-
never did. You
I-
did go one time.
just to dig it.
Yeah.
Years before he died.
Dig it up to
yeah,
steal his watch.
that was a present that I stole from my aunt. She doesn't know. She's deaf, so she won't hear this. Honest, she really is. Like, clip it. Clip it. Cut
But
it.
don't do captions.
Don't do captions. If anything, turn it down a little. You never know. So I
Never know. She might just start hearing if it's loud enough.
You really do
I don't know. She got a lot of money.
You do know.
She has a lot of money. You never know. Science. I had to shovel. In the Jewish religion, you have to literally put the dirt.
Oh yeah, everyone takes a turn.
Oh, that was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
That-
just like hearing it hit the casket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You do like
we did
a,
that at
you do
Bob
like a
Saget's.
few.
We all got to. We stood in
Yeah.
the line and each got to do a thing.
Oh, really?
It was cool. It's a nice tradition.
Yeah, it was.
You guys got some good ones, and then you also like let people. You have like what's
Sit
the
and shiva.
morning? Yeah, the
We sit
morning.
shiva,
yeah,
yeah.
That's nice too.
Everyone brings you food for a week.
That's like the paid leave for a postpartum paid leave of like of death. I
Yeah.
feel like where it's like we take a little bit more time to. I don't know why I'm comparing it to that, but some people like give you no time. They're just like come back to work.
Because to you, having a child is
Is a death.
Is a death.
Is a huge death.
Death to your body, a death to your
yes,
time.
yes, I do think that sometimes, all the time. But some people want it.
It was funny. My grandpa got buried, and then my grandma died like 8 years later and got buried next to him. And I could just imagine him being so pissed.
Oh my god.
That day, like he's like, I'm banging Hooters girls in heaven, and now Grandma Thelma's here.
Yes.
I'm here. I'm home, Marvin.
Louis has a bit about that.
Oh fuck.
Of like, why
He's
are you?
good.
He is good. We've touched on a couple things, and I'm like, Louis has that bit too. Of like,
Always
you-
got the bit about getting fucked as a body too.
yeah, of like someone
like Willy
failing,
Wonka.
writing. A medical student just gets an F,
There's
and
that.
they just put an F on you and just slide you down a fucking chute.
Yeah, grandma. They put an F+ on her, and then there's
F+.
the fucking the dead body. He's like, I want my body to be like the Willy Wonka. Like someone comes out and you can come on my back and pretend I am your father.
Yes.
There's that Louis bit.
That's
No one
right.
would know that song until
Yeah.
TikTok brought it back.
Yeah. Well, Timothy Chalamet brought it back.
Yeah.
The
Wonka.
Did you
grandma
watch
thing-
that,
I
by
didn't
the
see
way?
it. No, did you
Dark
see it?
chocolate.
We don't have to get in. It was.
It's not
I
good?
lasted literally. I'm not even kidding.
You
a
came right
minute
away.
and 40. Yeah.
I felt the joke bubbling in you,
yeah.
and I had to get it. Like I
stole it.
literally felt it physically, the joke in your like, sternum. That's so funny. My grandma actually my grandpa died probably 10 years before she did, and for the first 5 years it was like I can't wait to see grandpa my husband again. And then she started getting dogs. Like she got senior dogs. They would just give her dogs, and then they would die. And then at the end of her life, she was like, I can't wait to see my dogs. And I literally was like, what about grandpa? And she was like, I'm good. Like I had a really good time with him while he was here. Like she was like,
Yeah.
he was kind of an asshole, like kind of grumpy. She was constantly like catering to him, and it was like it was a marriage of the 40s, so like that's what it was. So she was like, no, I don't really want
And
to
they
see
had
him
like
anymore.
100 kids together.
They had so many, 10 kids and 5 miscarriages. Nancy, Jimmy, Michael, Julie, Tom, or Peggy, Chucky, Bobby, Patty, Sally, Mom, and Dad.
Wow.
Yeah, you got Peggy that time.
I did it.
Nailed
Yeah.
Peggy.
Yeah, your grandparents, it sounds like they all died like many years apart. It sounds like they never even loved each other. Because we all
Yeah.
know that if they love each other, they die within
Yeah.
minutes
Oh
of each
yes,
other.
that's
the
the
exact
true
same
sign.
time.
Okay, well, we're gonna go to break and come back with more after this. All right, we're back in the final stages of the show.
What
This
quick?
is it.
I don't know. Yeah, it did
gotta
go
pull the
quick. I
plug
gotta
on
go
it.
do 3 more podcasts today. I'm doing
Yeah.
Comedy Bang Bang.
This
and I'm
is
doing
wild. You're
The
doing a
Toast.
tour of the world here. I can't imagine. This week is so packed. You usually when you come to LA, you pack it with podcasts. You
Yes,
try to make
it was already
appearances.
packed.
Already it was packed, and now you're adding all this other. It's like every 5 minutes, it's a new podcast you have to go to.
Yes, I got booked on Seth Meyers, which was last. I'm doing that next week, and then the John Mulaney thing just came through. But that John Mulaney show is going to be.
That's the coolest.
There's no preparation for it.
Yeah.
I don't have to have a bit prepared. You just go out and you just laugh,
Sure.
and that's the joy of
I
it.
mean,
You're going to be so good on it, too.
Because I love the show, so it's
Mm-hmm.
nice to be a fan of a show you're going into. I want to watch last night's, but yeah, I saw Nate Pargazzi the other night. He was like, I just got done with the Mulaney thing. He's like, you just go out there. You just don't even know what's going to happen. There's really nothing you can do. And it was just like, I was like, okay, that's just what I need to hear. Is like, I was, when he was saying that, I was like, oh, now I want to do it because it's
You're
just
great
like,
in those
seems-
situations.
Yes. I love no prep.
Yes.
I
the
like
best.
no reviewing what we're going to go over, not having to hit our marks. Oh, and then it's done. I loved that he said on his first show, like, the show is never going to find its groove.
It
Yeah.
was so funny.
Because it's such an
'Cause that's
insider term,
I mean,
too.
That's
because
what happens with all these TV shows. Like, you're like, Jimmy
our
Fallon.
TV shows. Like Nikki and Sarah.
Right, yeah.
Not safe.
Yeah.
They never they weren't allowed to last long enough to find what they are.
Totally. Like, even you watch early Conans, and it took them a little while to find their groove, and when they did.
Couldn't believe it lasted. Oh my God, that I really recommend watching or listening to. Obviously, I recommended Hot Ones, Conan, which was amazing and one of the best pieces of comedy ever. And then they had he has on Dr. Arroyo, his doctor from Hot Ones, on for a segment on his podcast, and it's on YouTube. Just type in Dr. Arroyo. It's so funny. It's just like the comments underneath, which, comments help me determine how I feel about it, are like, this is a 20-minute masterclass in improv. It was just, it's really, really
He was
good.
great on Hot Ones.
He was so subtle, just like the subtle.
I was tricked at the beginning. I was
You
like,
thought
is
it
this
was a real
his
doctor?
is this a real doctor? Because he
Yeah.
was so not purposely funny seeming that I was
Yeah.
like, maybe this is a real guy who just doesn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And obviously by the end of it.
on the interview, he goes, we just have to talk about some of your practices that you established during the Hot Ones episode. People have questions. When you took my pulse, you seem to be choking my neck. And he goes, I thought you wanted me to actually take your pulse away.
Yeah, Nikki was like, when you like, we were like going to sleep, and I was like, oh, Nikki's probably asleep by now. And then she just kept laughing, and for like 15 minutes,
Like,
just
I
kept
never do
laughing.
that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
never like cracking up at things I'm listening to as I'm going to bed, but I was like gasping. There's one where he goes, and then when you were checking, you had me stick out my tongue at one point and checked my like tongue with the heart monitor. And he said, yeah, well, that's how we did it. I needed to hear if there was any screaming going on. And he's talking about that. And he goes, and it was dead. Your tongue was dead, so it was good. And he goes, well, usually one would put that device on my chest to hear my heartbeat. And he just goes, ugh. And I'm just totally repulsed at the idea of a heartbeat.
Yeah,
It's just these subtle things that you're like, where are you even going
That's
up with? That
brilliant.
was so funny. It's really, there's so many more moments that are just so great to listen to. But what do you guys got?
You're so sick of talking about yourself now.
I am a little bit, but it is a good week to be me.
Yeah.
It's the
I
best week
literally
of
thought
my
you were
life.
going to say Nikki Glaser.
No.
I thought you were going to go third person. You might get
Yeah,
there.
she
By
I'm
the end of
close
this
to it.
week,
Yeah,
you're going to be
this
like,
Jimmy's
Nikki
feeling
Glaser,
good.
Nikki's feeling all right. Nikki's doing it.
Final thought, Nikki's got to finish up the show. I don't think I'll get to that. It does feel good though to Kim Kardashian DM'd me yesterday.
What?
It
Yeah.
feels like the lottery for like every morning. You're like, what is going to.
I know.
What did Kim say?
Kim was so nice and wrote, I could read our conversation verbatim. I think I will.
But aren't you not supposed to do that?
Yeah, but I just feel like, I won't. I did it last night on stage, but it wasn't like a taping. But because she didn't say anything that would be ever
Right.
weird. Like
She just said how amazing you were and how funny you were.
like if she would get offended by, like, I was thinking about this, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And I go, well, if she would get offended by me reading that, like, she's got to know that if she said something to me, I would not do that with something that was not good.
Right.
Like I
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
she
yeah.
trusts me that I'm not just reading this because she sent me something. It's like I discerned that it was something that is
Right, right,
readable.
right.
But I know that there is a part of her that's probably like, this bitch will just read anything I send her, which I would not do, Kim, if you ever hear this. But
Yeah, I remember she wrote like Kanye had sex with P. Diddy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Isn't that what she wrote? Something like that.
Oh my god.
yeah,
But
she
isn't
sent
wasn't
me
it
the
something like
footage
that?
of it.
I can't remember exactly.
No, she just said great job. Which
Oh,
she had.
that
That
was
means
it.
she had to
That
like
was
write
it.
a Nikki. Like she had to type it in. Like I'm thinking about like her like beautiful nails clicking on it, like typing Nikki. Oh, is it 2 Ks or
Or is it
one?
CK?
Like yeah. And then she had to go to it, and then she had to go to like like it's like a lot of things that I was just like, oh. And then she just wrote me a really nice message saying congrats, and then I was like, no, you. I said, I was trying to make eye contact with you the whole damn show because I wanted to tell you you fucking killed and you were just so impressive. And I said, which was no surprise because of how elite your SNL monologue was.
She was amazing.
But you really killed it. And and she was like, I don't know how you do that. It's like it's low key abuse or something. Like she was like, it's abuse. And I go, you do know how I did it because you did it.
Yeah.
I go, you did it too, and you did it so well. And then she was like, she hearted that, and I just wrote like she said something else, and I said, we are brave! ! And she hearted it. So that was the end of it.
Great.
But like
in and out.
Yeah. But and
Success.
You know the ironic thing
Nothing
is,
weird happens.
the ironic thing is that so many times people call that family not talented. Like, why are they famous? And I didn't even think about that kind of notion about them, even though I literally read jokes about Kim that were pitched to me this week to maybe do that were like addressing that they don't have talent. And I literally wrote in that, like, you are so talented, because that was talented to be able to, first of all, whatever happened at the beginning, which, by the way, the boo, I met someone who knows who started it.
Oh,
and they were
really?
starting it as a joke.
Wow.
And it caught fire.
Oh.
Like, it just, like, it was
Weird.
gasoline over the crowd and a little bit of, and because they were just ready to boo. Like, it could have been anyone that is like associated with that kind of part of our pop culture.
Sure. They were booing like football teams and stuff too that were
Yeah.
anti-patriots.
I thought it might be a
And
Swiftie
Brian
thing.
booed at one point.
I booed Tom because he said "fuck the Colts." I booed him. I was the only one booing.
Sure. Like, that was the kind of night. It was boo heavy, but like she got fucked on that boo, and it was some comedian, some asshole comedian that did it as a joke and didn't expect for it to catch on, and it wasn't. Because I thought it was a Swiftie thing. Like, I was like disappointed on behalf of Swifties for like if that's what this was about. But I think it was just got out of hand. It was just people being jealous, obviously, of her fame and her power and all that. Like, that was what it was. But for her to like not address it, but kind of like look like a little disappointed, like she just handled it so well. And then she sat there the rest of the fucking show. She went up like almost right after me. I think there was one after me, and then she went up. She sat there for 2 hours. Whenever a lot of people that made appearances in the crowd left after their appearances. They didn't want to stay the whole show because they had other shit to do. Kim Kardashian definitely has other shit to do. She had to go to the Met Gala the next day.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
She probably flew the red eye, but she sat there and waited for Tom Brady's set, and I thought that was really cool of her.
You can think what you want about Kim, but in order to get that famous, you need to have talent. You can't get that famous. There's a lot of hot, rich girls
Of course.
who are not as famous as Kim Kardashian, and it's because they don't have the talent that she does. It's
And-
just impossible to do.
And just because the talent doesn't look like singing or dancing or acting or whatever you think it does, like, it is about sustaining a public image,
Oh,
being
yeah.
captivating. It takes hard work to look that
Being
good
interesting
too.
is a talent.
Being yes.
Doing things like just not making mistakes at public appearances and, you know, planning and your whole public image. Her whole job is to cultivate a public image.
Yes.
And that's a talent.
And that comes from her. She might hire people to help her with her image, but she's hiring those people. She's the tastemaker.
Yeah.
She's at the top. So I'll always be in her.
And
it
that ass.
sucks that like
Oh no.
I mean the body is insane, and that ass but
ass though.
you
Andrew,
know,
what's your public image?
Mine?
Yeah.
A guy that eats chicken salad with his hands.
and with that we have to go.
It's working. It's working.
This was so much
I'm
fun.
nailing
You
it.
really
You're
cultivated
crushing
that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
I
Hands
have,
got
I
mad.
have
I hope
seen
you
that
never-
happen before.
I hope
Huh?
you never die.
I would
seen
hope
it.
so.
My
My
favorite
publicist puts
Andrew
it everywhere.
eating story ever was when one day I got us Thai food. We were our hotel room. We only had one hotel room. The other one wasn't clean yet, so we were just hanging in the hotel room before a night of shows. Thai food arrives. There's no utensils. I go down to go get some, and I come back up, and he is using the ice tongs
Oh,
to eat his pad thai, which is a
Those are tongs? No. I'm
I don't
drunk.
even know.
Am I? Yeah, no,
That-
yeah.
but it was just-
I thought that
but
was ingenious.
It is.
It's a bigger bite?
What I always use is the coffee stirrers. I use them as
Oh.
chopsticks, and that really does work. But that was a next level, and I loved it. But yeah, hands I've seen a lot.
Yeah,
But why not?
tongs is a strong move because they're I don't know. I guess they use them with ice. They're
Tom
clean.
Brady.
Huh?
Tom Brady.
Tong Brady.
That's what we're calling you.
Great
Okay.
end to the show.
We gotta go. Don't be cool, you guys. Check me out. I'm gonna be in Vegas this weekend with David Spade. Tons of tour dates. NikkiGlaser.com. There's the song. There's a special. Spread the word. I love you guys so much. Love you, besties. I'll never get big enough for you. I promise. A lot of besties have been like, please don't change. Never forget us. I would never. I love you. Don't be cool.
already has.
And
I would never. She's texting Kim K right now.
Yeah. She's texting Kim K. Who are besties? You're my only bestie.
I love you guys. Okay, see you
Nikki
next
Glaser
week.
is gone. Has ended.